I have a confession to make. I, Pokemon Ranger Jackson, have never been a Pokemon Ranger game. I know. Hold your gasps. I finally did it. I know. I played as a kid, and I always got stuck at some point, and I gave up and never went back to it. But today, I can finally, truly accept my trainer class. This is the story of Pokemon Ranger Jackson. If you don't know what Pokemon Ranger is, it's quite different from the mainline Pokemon games. Rather than traveling a region to obtain badges and catching Pokemon, you use what's called a styler, or a capture styler, which lets you calm down wild Pokemon and befriend them for a period of time. So you don't really capture them, you just kind of make them your allies and use them. I don't know, it's supposed to be nicer. In the region of Fiore, there are no trainers, just rangers and normal citizens who coexist with Pokemon. As a kid growing up in the Fiore region, I was in awe of the Pokemon Rangers. I wrote to the leader often, and eventually he invited me to Fall City to meet him and see if I had what it takes to become a Pokemon Ranger. After arriving in Fall City, I took in my surroundings and found my way to a shaking box. I thought something was trapped inside, so I lifted it up and outran a Minun who disappeared shortly after. Minun? So I continued north until I found the Ringtown Ranger leader, Spencer, spelled with an S. We talked for a little while until we heard a scream not too far away. It was the same Minun who started a quarrel with a Houndoom. Not the smartest decision. To de-escalate the situation, Spencer handed me a capture styler and told me to take care of the Minun while he deals with the Houndoom. After a bit of a walkthrough, I captured the Minun and he ran away again. Afterwards, Spencer certified me as a Pokemon Ranger.
Oh my god, a shiny subscribe on. Quick, press it. No, don't run away. No!
Spencer called in a Furo to fly us to Ringtown's Ranger base. And as we started going, the same Minun jumped on my foot and hitched a ride. As we assessed the situation, another Ranger came out of the base. She introduced herself as Solana, and how strange, she has a Plusle with her. Anyways, we went inside and I was introduced to another Ranger, Murph. He has a Slowpoke as his partner Pokemon, who he claims is the faster of the two of them. Which brings me to another point. Every Ranger is allowed one partner Pokemon. This Pokemon helps on every mission and doesn't just leave after it helps you. I think I need to find a partner Pokemon. If only there was like a random math bunny that seemed really attached to me and caught a ride or something. I don't know. As I ponder this, Larry comes bursting through the door. No, not that Larry. This Larry. He said his Pokemon ran into the Lyra Forest and needs help getting it back. While Larry is terrified that he's lost his friend, I take this opportunity to look up the main protagonist's name in Gen 5 and come to the crazy realization that their default names are Hilbert and Hilda. Absolutely insane. Anyways, back to Larry. I head straight for the Lyra Forest and look for his Pokemon, which he forgot to describe or tell me the name of the Pokemon. Great! Anyways, I capture a couple of Pokemon, including Chikorita and Zigzagoon, before capturing a Tailo, which ends up being Larry's Pokemon. Once that situation is resolved, I get dragged into another one almost immediately, as a tree in the forest is on fire. Of course. I go and I capture the nearest Mudkip with a little help from Spencer, and use his field move to put the fire out. Which brings me to another huge point in this game. Each Pokemon has a field move that can be used outside of capturing a Pokemon. These range from putting out fires to breaking giant boulders and much more. Each Pokemon also has a capture assist where, depending on typing, can help you capture stronger Pokemon, which you'll see me use that later a lot. Now that the fire is out, I'm instructed to patrol the city with Solana, and pretty quickly I have to put out another fire. Metaphorically this time, thank goodness. Larry's Tailo is chasing around that same Minun, and I saved it once again. And he seems to have gotten like emotionally attached to me at this point because he's not leaving me alone. And honestly, I've taken a liking to him too. I mean, come on, look at that face. Minun is now my official partner Pokemon. Back at base, Solana leaves to patrol the forest when an elderly man enters the ranger base. This ends up being Professor Hastings, who seems to have invented the capture styler. After some more minor tutorial things, I'm instructed to escort the professor and his super styler, a new edition of the capture styler, back to Fall City. We set out, capture some Pokemon for potential help in the future, and make our way to Kraka Tunnel, which connects the two cities. While inside, we get separated after a couple of huge boulders fall from the ceiling. How weird. I make my way around until I see two guys that look like Will from the Sinnoh Elite Four, who I immediately call out as an evil team. I was right. I overhear them starting to monologue and introduce themselves as the Go Rock Squad, which is a pretty awful name if I do say so myself. But they stole the Super Styler from the professor and fled outside. After we chased them, we got stopped by a rampaging Rhydon, which I had to take care of, but unfortunately that was enough of a chance to let the Go Rock Squad escape. We'll get him next time. But we did finally make it to Fall City. We make our way to Fall City's ranger base, where I'm introduced to their leader, Joel, and some other rangers, including a girl named Arya. We are informed that all the rangers in Fiore are tasked with trying to get the Super Styler back. However, I am told to hold off because my ranger rank is too low, and I'm instructed to deal with some smaller issues like finding some lady's skitty. I mean, her 6 skitty. Crazy old cat lady. Once that was taken care of, Arya and I heard a noise from the north part of town and found a Machoke destroying a building. So we had to capture it, and by we, I mean me, because Arya had to test me. What a bit. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, I make my way back to the base and Joel promotes me to Ranger Rank 3. I'm given a new mission to take care of some Grimer in the waterworks under the city. And let me just tell you, this was my most frustrating moment in this entire game. I get through the majority of the mission with ease until the boss. And the boss is just a Muck and 2 Grimer. You know, doesn't sound too bad. And I know what you're thinking. Jackson, come on, this is like the 3rd mission. It should be super easy, piece of cake. Well, it wasn't. I got so upset because the Muck and the Grimer leave behind trails, and if you hit that, you'll lose your capture. And I hit that a lot. And a lot, and a lot, and a lot. You'll see me slowly spiral into madness. I spent so much longer on this than I should have. And I literally had to go back and capture specific Pokemon to help me take care of this issue, which I did. And you know what? I did it in maybe half hour or so, but like comparatively, that was a long time. So once that's all taken care of, I take a break because I needed it. I'm then instructed to head to Summerland and meet the leader there, Cameron. He tells me to head to the Olive Jungle to see what's up. This is where I run into potentially the greatest characters to ever grace a Pokemon game. The Go Rock Quads, Garrett, Tiffany, Clyde, and Billy. They're 4 siblings who also have a band, and you know what? Just watch their introduction. Whoa. Okay, I like these guys. Tiffany? Whoa. Where were you keeping that, sir? Billy? Yo, he goes hard. Holy. Billy, Garrett, Clyde, and Tiffany. Yo, that dude. They more or less explain they stole the Super Styler for the purpose of capturing legendary Pokemon and making Rangers non-existent. Not cool, but actually, I mean, kind of cool. Respect. Regardless, I make my way through the jungle to an old building which holds a stone tablet called the Jungle Relic. As I make my way out, I run into Billy, who explains the drawback with the Super Styler is that a Ranger can capture the already captured Pokemon to set it free. Good to know. I head back to the base, and Cameron makes me Ranger Rank 5 for doing not really a whole lot. My work in Summerland is complete for now, so I head back to Fall City where Spencer, Joel, and the professor wait. The professor explains that the Pokemon being captured by the Go Rock Squad could be in danger, as they aren't being captured by qualified Rangers. The professor says there is no time to waste, and he leaves. I'm given another mission back in the Crockett Tunnel, where I find the band of siblings again. They monologue for a bit and just leave. They tend to do that a lot. I make my way through the tunnel, rescuing more Pokemon from the Go Rocks, until I find Tiffany all alone. She's come to stop me since the grunts have kind of been sucking and are really bad. She summons a Camerupt with her Violin Styler, which is awesome, and I kind of really want one. Anyways, I take on the Camerupt and capture him within a couple of minutes. Then Spencer comes around and Tiffany flees, and I'm awarded Ranger rank 6. Next, I'm told to go help some old guy who's lost in the Lyra forest. I find him without any issue and help him find his way out. One peculiar thing though is he likes to laugh maniacally like a lot. Which, yeah, whatever. I'm sure that can't be that useful. Regardless, I capture a Murkrow who was in our way and making fun of this guy, and I was awarded Ranger rank 7 for some reason. I head back to Summerland, where Cameron has a gift for me. How nice. Some random piece of metal he found in the water, which is actually some type of submarine. Just what I wanted! I am loving my new gift when Solana bursts through the door and asks about the jungle relic back in the Olive Jungle. Cameron fills us in on how there's a legend surrounding the relic called the 4 Challenges. He explains that it's a set of challenges for Rangers, 4 of them, but the legend says to never complete the last one. Solana then says we should try our hand at it and test our skills because Spencer and Joel did it when they were younger and we should test ours. Woo! We enter the building and find a secret stairway at the relic which leads down to a cave with a few rooms as well as a statue of an Entei. Pretty cool. Each holds a difficult challenge, hence the name of the legend. These rooms contain Flygon, Salamence, and Kingdra, and let me tell you, these were a pain in the ass. Like, I know they're supposed to be difficult, they're the challenges, but like, these were insane. Besides Kingdra. Kingdra was no big deal at all. I spent so long and then somehow convinced myself that this was an optional mission, so I gave up and then realized I had to restart and do everything again. So that got me angry. So that was fun. But eventually, I got through each of them and Solana leads me to the 4th room. After really just not doing anything, she just stood there while I've done everything so far. Yeah, that seems to be a common theme. Anyways, at the end of this last room, we find an injured Charizard being cornered by the Go Rock quads, which means I get to listen to them play again. Woo! I capture the Charizard to save him from the band of misfits, but in doing so, was tricked into completing the dreaded 4th challenge. Billy explains that by completing all 4 challenges, a great calamity will now befall Fiore. We make our way out and witness the Entei statue disappear, and Solana reassures me that nothing bad will happen. Why would it? We make our way out and feel the ground shake beneath us. For some reason, we head back in to find a real Entei that is very upset in the place of the statue. Arya joins us, and we make our way to the back of the cave where we find Clyde, and he goes on about how we made his boss happy. I wonder who that could be. Then he sends out his slacking against me, which was actually incredibly easy to capture. And then Clyde just leaves after announcing that his boss is in the next room. Thanks, Clyde. And there he is, standing directly in front of Entei, the old man from the woods, whose name is Gordor. Gordor? I don't know. He is the boss of the Go Rock Squad. He monologues for a bit before assigning me to capture Entei, which is kind of weird, but okay, dude, I'll do it. If I capture Entei, all of the tremors should stop. And I do just that, without really too much issue. Especially compared to Muck. Gordor explains that he has proven he can capture legendary Pokemon, but can't control them just yet. And then leaves the cavern after complaining about Professor Hastings for some reason. We then fill Arya in on everything that happened and head back to the base, but not before seeing that Charizard fly around the cave for a bit. I get back and unfortunately I don't get a rank up, even though I just beat 4 really hard challenges and captured an Entei, but hey, at least I captured a Murkrow before. I'm immediately told to fly back to Fall City where I find Hastings. He proceeds to give me a new mission to check out the nearby Dusk factory. I guide him there for some reason because I guess that's partially my job. I capture some Pokemon and watch from afar as the Go Rock quads practice their damn intros. Man, I love this game. 3 of them leave and Garrett stays back to look over the factory. We then find a room with the captured Pikachu and realize there are a lot of Pokemon here that need rescuing. I continue on making my way through various captures and puzzles until I find Garrett and his Scizor, who, with the help of Ludicolo, stood no chance. Thanks, Ludicolo. Garrett leaves, but tells us the new power styler they have been developing is close to completion. I head back where Joel awards me Ranger rank 8, and then I am presented with another new mission. I head to Summerland where I need that submarine that Cameron had gifted me. After helping the engineer find a missing part, he dubs his submarine with the name Aquamole, and I take it over to Windtown, which is an awesome name. I meet a ranger named Chris and Alita, the ranger leader of Windtown. We make our way through yet another cave, and towards the end, we find a big-ass Steelix, which takes me a few tries to get through. Apparently it was captured by a grunt to cause a mishap in the cave, which it did. Once I got past that though, we made our way to the Windtown base, where I'm told my next mission is to be a decoy for Spencer as we proceed toward the final battle with the Go Rocks. In the meantime, I travel around with Arya, capturing more and more Pokemon, and capturing what looks to be that same Charizard again. Damn, I wish I could make him my partner Pokemon. No offense, mine. We make our way towards the Go Rock not-so-secret base, until Arya gets told to head back to town. Guess I'm on my own. Shocker. Oh, just kidding. Chris is inside and explains he gets tongue-tied around Alita. How cute, and then he leaves. Thanks, Chris. I make my way through grunt after grunt, capture after capture, until I find a hallway protected by a wire fence, which can only mean good things, right? After having a Sneasel cut through for me, I find Tiffany, who now has 2 Camerupt. Once she's taken care of, she runs off to hide behind Clyde, who now has a Slackoth and Vigoroth to accompany his Slacking. Once they've been captured, the 2 run and hide behind Garrett, their older brother, who has 2 Scythers to back up his Scizor now. Once defeated, all 3 of them run away, and now it's just me and Big Bro. Billy has the whole Tyranitar line at his disposal. They proved to be a bit more trouble than the rest, but with the help of a couple of Machamp, I was victorious. After finally getting out of the battle, Solana and I... Oh yeah, Solana got here at some point. Anyways, I captured the 3 and Billy pulled out the self-destruct switch, which he immediately pressed. Okay, Dr. Doof. As the place starts to blow, Billy says he doesn't want us messing with his dad, boss. And if blowing up a base means they get disowned, it's okay, because they have each other. And then they book it so they don't explode. Before we can leave after them, Spencer comes and says he got the Super Styler. Solana and I celebrate and do a little dance, as the walls are literally crumbling around us. We all escape before the place comes crashing down, and I'm rewarded with Ranger rank 10, and 1 final mission. Before leaving, the quads told us Gorder is at Fiore Temple, so Solana and I head over there as soon as we can. After some annoying puzzles and even more annoying captures to solve those puzzles, we made our way to the top of the temple where Gorder stands with the 3 legendary beasts, Raikou, Suicune, and Entei. Raikou is up first, but I handle him pretty swiftly. He just takes a little bit of patience. Next is Suicune. Oh, Suicune. Suicune can very tediously summon 2 clones of itself over and over and over and over and over. Well, you get the point. And if you capture both decoys, he would just summon 2 more. So I hatched a plan to capture one of them, make it disappear, leave the 2 remaining, and try to get them as far apart as possible. So then I can use Minun to paralyze them, and I can capture them really easily. However, one thing I forgot to mention about this game is that the Pokemon can run off screen. And if you use Minun's ability to paralyze them while they're off screen, they stay off screen. And that happened, I shit you not, 20 times to me. At least. Raikou took me approximately 3 minutes in my first attempt. Suicune took almost an hour. And not only did I lose a couple times, which made me go back and capture other Pokemon specifically for him, I didn't even have the chance to try the 3rd Pokemon out, Entei. So, I'm building this team. I finally beat Suicune, and I let him go free. After catching those first 2, Gorder gets angry and starts complaining at us. While he's distracted, Plusle and Minun hop on his little machine in the back and just break it. Thank you. And this frees Entei, who immediately goes to attack Gorder, understandably. But I, as a Pokemon Ranger, must do what is right and capture the Entei before he hurts Gorder. So, against my better judgment, I start my final encounter. After some help from Vaporeon and some save states, I captured Entei within a few minutes and rescue Gorder along with all of Fiore. We then head back to the base with Spencer. However, we do get access to a little scene where we learn Professor Hastings and Gorder used to be friends who worked on inventions together. Gorder was never as good as Hastings and grew to envy him, as his own research was never good enough. And even after Hastings offered him a chance to renew and join him, Gorder refused and went on his way. When we got there, we just saw the professor alone, and all of us together head back into town and are celebrated as heroes. This game was absolutely fantastic, and I cannot recommend it enough. Yes, the capture mechanics get a little stale after a while, and some captures are maybe more difficult than they need to be, but in the end, it didn't really matter. I got really angry at some points, but overall, I still really loved the game. It was absolutely incredible. Good story, funny moments, a fantastic evil team, and just fun all around. I'm happy I chose the Pokemon Ranger class, and I can finally feel worthy of the name Pokemon Ranger Jackson.